the 2 times that they have, it was battles all over the place, all over the map, all the time.
One thing we can say is that if Fnatic now go on the biggest losing streak of all time and lose every single game, they still can't finish bottom.
Correct.
And they would only be tied then on losses. In fact, they can't even finish in the bottom 2 because Copenhagen Wolves also have 13 losses. AAA and Ozone Giants are both with 12 losses apiece as well. So they're safe from that bottom 2 position, which is job done in one way.
Yeah.
On the other side, though, of course, they're not even thinking about being at relegation. They're thinking about how they turn this into a title chase. Into the picks and the bans either way. Fnatic banning out Shen, Renekton, and Thresh. So quite a few targeted in there towards Darien.
Yeah, 2 for Darien, 1 for Edward. They do not want that in there. You can see on the other side, they've removed Varus from Yellow Star, mirroring what we've been saying for a long time, that it's probably his strongest AD at the moment.
Yeah.
And of course, Leona once again targeted at N-rated. It was his Lulu play that really impressed us earlier today, though. So we might see another misfortune, or might see another Lulu combo, which is what they ran earlier today.
Yeah, Jarvan also banned out there for Cyanide in that one, and Misfortune was the first pick for Fnatic. Looks like Gambit going to secure 2 highly contested picks from their side. We've seen time and time again their abilities to play both Elise and Nasus in the jungle.
Now, Elise is most likely going to be in that top lane position, and it's a very, large statement saying this is who we want to play. There is one thing that I want to point out. It could be support Elise. Crepo did it about 2 weeks ago.
Could be.
And Elise is one of those champions that I spoke in depth with the Freak about regarding the positioning, the fact that there's so much diversity and they can go in so many different lanes.
Yeah.
And it's definitely meaning that Fnatic are going to have to second guess themselves. Is that support? Is it top lane? Is it jungle? Not likely going to be jungle because Diamond has the dog, of course.
The dog is in there. Kha'Zix and Lulu, so your prediction of a Lulu Misfortune lane comes true. Kha'Zix, obviously, we saw earlier on from Alex Itch, he told everyone to vote for him because he made a pentakill. And he's a very good Kha'Zix player. So, from the side that both Soaz and Peke can play that, taking it away from Alex Itch is just an added bonus.
Exactly, but I do want to say that both Twisted Fate and Zed are still open and available, and are both champions that Alex has played to great, extent in the past. So we'll see if they decide to lock that in. You can actually see Nunu was being hovered over for a couple of seconds there, did get swapped out, and they're probably going to go for a little bit more of a de facto standard AD support. If it is Sona, it's what Edward played earlier today as well. So he's going to be on comfort. But Genji returning to Ez, it's not one that we've seen in high-profile play for a little bit of time. Nono has been playing it fairly consistently, but Ez has dropped off the map a little bit in terms of usage.
And I can hear the crowd through 3 or 4 walls here screaming because a Teemo is being hovered over there. And just like in Lil, it's all a lie. We're not going to be seeing that Teemo coming in. If we were, then I would be very, very impressed. I mean, we've seen the jungle Malzahar today, so I suppose anything really is possible, but still not falling for it. The crowd's still cheering over Teemo. There is a Volibear, which you would almost say is a guaranteed for Cyanide.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking as well. I imagine that Kha'Zix is potentially going to be either in that mid lane or in the top lane being used by Soaz and Peke. This is a question that you can see the team, they're really thinking about who they want to pick in, because you have the option, you have the choice to put Kha'Zix wherever. The fact that the AP middle has still not 100% been locked in for Gambit means they're going to decide who they want. Twisted Fate being locked in means Peke is going to be using that in the mid lane, and if Alex wants to go very aggressive, he could take Zed to immediately counter push and shut him down. Alternatively, he could pick Diana, and we can see the same matchup again for the 3rd time today.
Yeah, it will be the 3rd time Twisted Fate versus Diana. However, both of those times Twisted Fate was on the red team, Diana was on the blue team, so that would be different here, which may or may not have an influence on how things go. There is a Fizz being hovered over, but again, it's Edward. So let's not count anything until it's locked in.
It is very, very true. Edward does look very serious though, and it is locked in. So Fizz is going to be going up in the mid lane against Twisted Fate. So this is an awesome pickup for a number of reasons. First and foremost, once Fizz picks up a little bit of ability power, he can wave clear very, very effectively with his Playful Trickster, his E. If he goes aggressive, he can shut down Xpeke really quickly because the burst damage is very, very high. And it is so easy to dodge wild cards and the pick a card with your E. So he's got a lot of options to play with, and it's going to come down to individual players to who wins out this lane. But I would put money on Fizz being able to out-duel Twisted Fate.
Really, really interesting choice there. First time that we're going to see Alex Ich playing Fizz here in the European LCS this season. We did see before LCS started, he had played quite a bit of Fizz online and what have you, but this is the first time that he's really bringing him out as a major pick.
Yeah, it's an important match as well. There's some awesome dog tags there, which came from the Pro Player Summit from Riot, little Fnatic brand badges on there. But the thing that I'm very excited about here is, of course, the fish. There is some fishy business in the water now, and it's going to be up to Alex to get, to land those chum in the waters and to really put pressure down onto the members of Fnatic. The thing that's really good about that ultimate as well is when combined against the targets of who's going to be running at him and chasing at him. When Kha'Zix jumps in, just fish him. If Volibear runs at you, just fish him too. So I really like the counterplay options that are available there for Alex.
I'm sorry. I'm sure Freak is already thinking of the 1,000,001 puns that he could be saying right now. But rest assured, we are going to the analysis desk afterwards, and he'll have a whole list of fishy puns available for that one. So, our final game of the day here, Saturday of the European LCS Week 8. And it is, of course, Fnatic taking on Gambit Gaming, two major heavyweights here in Worldwide League of Legends. And as we get into the game, we're going to have a little bit of a pause. We see the admins there just behind are going to be helping and asking Alex. We could troll him and be like, can you smell fish?
I think there's something fishy going on with this pause right now. Well, it is going to be interesting to see whether or not the Volibear of Cyanide can catch those salmon running upstream. And if he does, it's definitely not one that is going to help him out in this matchup. I'm sorry, Joe, but I think I'm going to channel my inner freak for this match.
I think we need to call a pun embargo on this one because I don't know. I don't want to see the COD Wars all over again. Here we go then. Fnatic versus Gambit. We are in game. Fnatic, of course, on the blue side for this one. Let's see what Gambit are going to do. Talk us through level 1 here, quick shot.
Okay, so in terms of level 1, I definitely feel that Fnatic have a stronger position in this particular space. They have Glitter Lance. They have a potential for Gold Card. If Volibear gets a Rolling Thunder, they could get it. Genja's about to face check. He may be in trouble.
Oh, there's the gold card coming in on towards Genja. He's flashed. Can he get away from it? He's had to use that early on. But Yellow Star comes in. First blood. Here's another stun card landing it onto Edward. Have they got the damage? He flashes away. Won't be 2 kills, at least for now. Nasus and Fizz both started to come up to this to this top side, but Genja there face checking, had to level up that arcane shift, had to use the flash, not the start that the Russians were looking for.
Such good play from Xpeke and from Yellow Star. They did 2 things there that were very, very good. First and foremost, Yellow Star with Strut got into position before anybody else. Peke also started with boots and pots. That's not something we see all that often anymore. And there's a lot of people that say, well, starting boot spots is a waste. Peke managed to get all the way up to the tri-bush before his opponents could, and it's that simple. Gold card plus some auto attacks allowed them to pick up that first blood. 2 assists on the board of Fnatic, and an early start and advantage for their bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, you see Misfortune there with that first blood monies has gone in for the longsword added into that Doran's blade there right from the very get-go. There's a ward picked up by Peke, extra pots in there as well. As you said, did start boots and 3 pots for that one. So really interesting start to this, as we would have expected from Fnatic versus Gambit. And look at this, Fnatic are on the invade once again.
Now they did walk straight over a ward, so Gambit are fully aware of this, and you can see the reply as Nasus is immediately moving up and around towards the Fnatic blue. Because of that first blood and the additional wards, they have full vision of it, and they know that Diamond Prox is up, so they're not going to be able to secure this. They get the gold card down into Edward, and can they get another kill?
Yeah, this is a 2v2, and to be honest, Edward's not very strong at this level. He's still level 1. Can they get the finisher? Yes, they can. Soaz gets that kill, but can he get away from Diamond? There's a Spirit Fire. Diamond ends that one, but in the meantime, that blue buff, I believe, was taken away there by Fnatic, and see that they've left something up there in the camp, and it is with Cyanide.
So Cyanide actually stole away the blue buff there from Gambit. Diamond Prox managed to get up in range and smite away that blue, but they traded a kill for a blue buff, and I have to feel that if you're Fnatic, you prefer giving the kill and the gold to your Kha'Zix, who can pick up now a longsword to go with his pots, potions, and wards and return to lane. We see some shenanigans coming out from Fnatic. They do not want to let the fish get free farm, and they put up the duo lane of Misfortune and Lulu against him so that Enrated can zone Alex as best as possible.
Oh, Peke in the top lane there, though. I'm not sure what happened there. We didn't really get to see much of it, but It was a 1v1. It was Genja versus Xpeke, and Genja got the better of him for that kill. But now we see Alexic coming up towards his top lane as well. Are they going to go for an early tower here?
It does look like they're going to go for a lane swap, I believe. I think Alex wants to try and get the most optimal lane possible because he has a superior 1v1, superior dueling capabilities against the likes of Twisted Fate, which is why he's swapping. An instant reply, though, from Fnatic. They're sending the duo lane up to the top, and you can immediately see Peke with Twisted Fate going to the middle. 3 minutes into the game, we got 2 kills to 2, and the fishy business started with Fizz and has continued throughout this game. I have no idea what else to expect, but it's already a crazy, crazy start to the last match of the day.
Well, all we know is if one team carries on like this, then they could end up getting battered. Fizz moving back in towards the middle against Xpeke for this one. The stun card comes down, but you see the power of the fish. He gets in there, but can he get away from the bear? He's taking a lot of turrets hits here. Cyanide moving in there. He's got that red buff on to keep the slow up, and he only needs one more bite as he bites him in the backside for the kill. So as in the bottom lane being troubled here as well as the rappel comes down. Spirit Fire in there. So as trying to get away, but he will die. Darian took another hit from the turret there, but with the ignite, he still won't go down.
Such good play coming out there from Gambit to pick up the 2v1 in the bottom lane. Everybody knows that dogs and spiders eat insects, but now the bear wants to get on the dog. Can he get the flip backwards? There is a turret there, but there's a minion wave, so Diamondprox should be able to get to safety, and he does.
Yeah, the Wither there really saving his life. Would have been a lot of damage coming out. Let's take a look at the CS, because to be honest, it's all over the place at this point. Elise to Kha'Zix, 25-8. Darian, we know him as a person who really likes his 1v1 lanes, however things go. And the whole time that everything's been going off there, he has been farming. 25-8 CS when you compare them. There's a 10 CS lead in the jungle as well. But if you look at the gold, 1,400 to 1,440. So a bit of a lead with the kill and the assist there for Kha'Zix. In the middle lane, 6-7. Just no farming being done so far between Xpeke and Alexic. The AD carries 36-30. Both got a kill apiece. It's about a 200 gold difference, but obviously the kill for Misfortune was a first blood.
Up until those last couple of creep kills there for Alexic, I'm trying to fish out information from my brain, and I can't think of any time previously where both Peke or Alex have had 1 CS per minute average at the 6-minute mark. It's unbelievable, and it's just because of the craziness that's been going on and these lane swaps. 2 members of Fnatic are hiding up in this top bush, but they're standing on top of a ward, and Diamondprox is waiting to come in. He has that Wither available, and we've already seen Genja go toe-to-toe with Peke. In the mid lane, though, Peke is in trouble.
Yeah, Alexic is going to dive this one. There is the ignite down. One more auto attack will finish him off. Will he get another tower hit? No, he gets away. And now we see Diamond coming into this top lane. They've baited him out completely. Yellow Star is burning down. Finished off by Genja, and the trap was set, and Fnatic fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
Completely free kill there. Alex wants more. He has the playful trickster available if he decides to go aggressive under the turret, and he starts to recall, so decides to back away, decides to get, to safety, and 6-3 up, 1,000 gold lead. Gambit they're the ones making the chaotic plays. This is what has defeated them in the past, and they're playing the game that they seem to be weak against at the moment.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, Xpeke's Twisted Fate, a completely different time for him this game around. I mean, he is now 0-3-3 with 15 CS after 7 minutes. Total chaos on all sides of the Summoner's Rift right now. We see that Enrated is finally going to be joined. Volibear is coming into this top lane as well, but in the end goes back. Genja had come down south. Don't think a ward spotted him there. I think that was just a whole Spidey sense thing going on to make him realize that something's happened. We've seen how often Xpeke has had to come back here to farm those raids, which in the middle you'll see them do anyway, but he's really had to rely on that at this point, because in lane against this Fizz, he's losing out pretty hard.
Really badly in that middle lane. Alex has been able to, out and pick up those kills time and time again without even the use of his ultimate. So now that he is 6 to Twisted Fate's 5, as soon as he does use Chum the Waters, Xpeke is going to go down even quicker. The bear has found Diamondprox. He eats a gold card.
Stun card coming in, but can they finish him him off. Do they have the damage? Here comes Fizz from the side. Chum the Waters goes in there. Actually goes between both Peke and Cyanide. And they get nothing from the first ultimate of Alex.
Neither of them interested in the lobster, so they don't order it. Step aside and manage to stay alive. Yellowstar has snuck up behind, and if they get the flip, Alex is in trouble.
Alex trying to get away here, but there is the flip. Yellowstar is involved. The barrier used, and Alex is trying to turn things around now on towards Peke, but can he get away from this one? Stun card is going to be pulled here by Peke. There is the slow. Alex is going back off towards Peke, but the stun comes out. Yellowstar gets the kill. Meanwhile, the Spider down at the bottom going in towards Soaz. There's the repel. He's going all in on this one, but the turret helping Soaz out. Now Volibear is coming down to get involved as well. He is at full HP as he goes sprinting in. Nice cocoon comes out of Darian, but he's in no man's land right now, and Darian's going to have to try and delay this long enough to get that suicide in. There is the Destiny pop. There is the damage that Cyanide has been looking for, and Darian, he's not going to escape. 5-6 to Gambit still.
The gold has been closed, even out little bit by little bit as this matchup is played, and that whole engagement started out with Peke really toying with his life, but keeping at the maximum range of that Urchin strike from Fizz. He's avoided the Q. He stayed far enough away that once the Playful Trickster landed, he was able to put down the gold card and lock Alex up. And then, of course, managed to chase down to the bottom. Well played by Soaz to survive in that bottom lane, but he burned absolutely everything. Cyanide may think about a flash steal, but he doesn't have flash, so it's not going to happen.
Thought about it, just couldn't do it. He's an excellent player when it comes to flashing and stealing. Not this time around, though. And Diamond as well. He's not scared of going for solo dragons. We saw a level 3 Udyr dragon from him previously in the European LCS here. There's Peke finally getting a bit of farm back towards him. So had to go double Doran's ring here at the start. That just shows you the struggles that he's having, that extra bit of health, the bit of AP as well coming in as well. But I think that Fizz with those 2 kills is going to start to really cause him, if he's not already been causing him a load of problems already. So Fnatic here going to be giving that blue buff over on towards Peke. In the top lane, Genja and Edward actually starting to push on towards that turret once again. Let's have a look how much health has been lost. Not really too much. And Yellowstar will stop any more, and any loss CS.
And I think the reasoning for that is fairly simple. Genja is winning out that lane. He's got near to 30 CS advantage in that top lane. If they shove the tower down, it means he needs to start roaming, and that difference can be caught up a little bit easier. So the longer he can draw out this laning phase, the further the advantage can be. You've noticed Yellowstar and Rated have done practically nothing in that top lane because they've been defending for so long. Genja has a BF sword advantage over his lane opponent, and anytime they duel and go toe-to-toe, it's definitely going to be Genja that wins out.
As you say that, a BF sword picked up by Yellowstar, but no, in the moment you were correct. He's just gone back and picked that one up there.
Up until that point.
Yeah, you were right on that one. But the difference now is at least something boots, which is what Yellowstar has over Genja. Obviously, until he decides to go back and prove me wrong as well. This bottom lane, which of course is a solo lane this time around, Darian versus Soaz. Darian still has a lead, but if you compare that to what it was earlier on, it's been brought back completely.
And something that I've only just noticed, and I don't know how on earth I missed it, Darian has gone for a Sightstone. So he's working towards a Ruby Sightstone as your solo lane Elise. It's obviously going to give him some HP, which is great, and the base numbers on Elise is always very, very good. She does percentage HP damage, but that's a first in the LCS for the top lane to pick that item up. Who let the dog out right now because he was thinking about a top lane dive as Soaz and Darian are fighting?
Yeah, this is actually, I'm not sure which way that's going to go. You can see that both players losing a lot of HP and both not really wanting to fight that one out. Soaz tries to get the Void spikes over, just blocked off there. There is a dog and a bear, as we are going to see Twisted Fate getting involved here. Can they lock Diamond down? Where's the fling back as the True Shot barrage goes down the middle, and Fizz is getting right in on top of them. Cyanide going low. Alex going to be focused. There's a great crescendo. Xpeke going to be dropped. Yellowstar now trying to get away. That is a 3-for-1 here for Gambit. They've lost Alex Hitch, but when the Wither comes up here for Diamond, it's bad news for Yellowstar. There is the Wither. Spirit Fire goes down. Diamond tanking up the turret, which he can't really afford to do. They've let Yellowstar get away and change their focus onto Soaz, who had got Edward very, very low here. The Ignite will finish him off. Soaz may get 2. No, the Arcane Shift will get him away. away there, Genja. Yellowstar tried to get involved as well at the end. Another crazy, crazy time here.
Soaz was level 8. He was not level 11, which meant he did not have any resets on his leap. He couldn't deal additional damage. He managed to at least pick up 1 in that engagement, but because of such a fantastic crescendo from Edward, it locked up Fnatic, and they ended up trading, I think, 3 for 1 in that particular engagement. So very well played. Down in the bottom lane, Darien, free farm, allowed to take out the bottom turret and extend their gold lead to 3,000 gold right now. Alexic is terrifying, but he didn't use Chum the Waters in that engagement. He was stun locked and CC'd for so long, he was unable to use his ultimate, and that could have actually pushed the fight even further in their favor.
There is a ward down by Alex. Just wants to keep as much vision of that Twisted Fate as he can. Top side of the jungle, you can see got a couple of wards down by Gambit outside of blue, and on that curved corner, one from Fnatic right in the top bush there by Edward, which will be taken away here by a pink ward, and one in the tri-bush, just warding away from you know, a possible 3-man gank to this top lane. That will actually be running out here. As now Alex again is going to go in towards XPK, actually misses his ultimate, but he might not even need it here. He's going to finish him off there. Nicely done. That is just walking underneath the tower. Boom, you're dead.
There's absolutely nothing Pekka can do to survive the damage that Alexic is putting down. Pekka's going to need to get himself towards a Zhonya's Hourglass, or maybe pick up some additional magic resistance to try and survive, but that's just going to slow him down on his build. So, well played by Alex. You could see he's really thought about the fact that Pekka was going to pick Twisted Fate, and he's picked a champion that can really, really stomp his opponents. Now, think back to the matchup last week where Copenhagen Wolves were facing off against Gambit. Alex was playing Twisted Fate, and he was losing 1v1 against Bjergsen's Zed, and he was saying, I'm trying the feed strat, go 0-6 and still win. Pekka may be trying the same. He doesn't have that same dueling capabilities or damage, but obviously he's going to offer a little bit more in terms of map presence than Fizz will offer in this matchup.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of utility, which is what Fnatic have got to rely on right now. We can see, pulls out the red card. Destiny is available. The problem that he has is, where does he get involved right now? If you look at the minimap, they're all fairly far back on the tower. Like, there's no real room there for Twisted Fate to go in, probably unless Cyanide is there to be tanking up those tower hits as we go. Obviously, we are on the latest patch, so the towers hurt that little bit more than they did before, which I'm not sure that the players will be 100% accustomed to by now.
Yeah, it's a fairly recent change. I mean, 3.5 was only applied about a week and a half ago or so on the servers, and you can see Diamond Prox coming in behind Pekka. Is he going to eat the lobster for dinner?
Here we go, already half HP gone down. There's a fling back from Cyanide. He's done a great job to protect XPK from that one. Here comes the Destiny. Where's the stun card? There it is. He's hitting from the tower now as well. A double kill for Cyanide. And there's the power of the bear. Pulls Alexic away from XPK. Then they turn it around, stun him under the tower. Great play out of Fnatic.
Another time we see Alexic not getting his Chum the Waters off in one of these engagements. And it's one of those things we see when you use new champions. Like when Snoopy was playing Malzahar. He didn't quite use his ultimate as often as maybe he should have. Alexic using Fizz. Maybe he could have got Chum the Waters off, maybe he couldn't, but the fact that it wasn't is the reason he didn't pick up that kill.
And you saw that, actually, Twisted Fate just going through past the tower, getting rid of those minions before they could come in to defend it all. Dragon, by the way, is now up and available. Obviously, we saw it soloed last time around by Diamond Proc, so he's actually headed to that section of the map here with Darien around as well. They may think about going in for the Dragon, and as I say, Darien is going to turn around. Diamond going to join in. This is going to be a 2-man, a 3-man when Alexic comes down with Fizz. He's on his way.
And there's no vision there for Fnatic, so they may have their spider senses tingling that Elise is missing and going for Drake, but they will have no idea about the timing on it. The previous time it happened, Cyanide did put a ward down and just stood there and cried a little bit to himself because there was nothing he could do to interrupt it. This time round, there isn't even any tears of sadness because he had no information. Blue buff picked up there by Pekka, 97 CS on the board, but a good percentage of those creeps does come from neutral monsters. So the amount of gold that he's actually got in his back pocket will be, you know, a little bit less than what there would be if it was 97 mid lane CS.
Yellowstar doing a good job. He's trying to obviously catch up to Genji, who's got a big CS total over him, 147 to 110. Got an extra kill. Both AD carries doing well here in terms of the kills, but in terms of difference in items, that's a Bloodthirster apiece and a full Last Whisper picked up there by Genja.
Now that Last Whisper is going to help so much on those Mystic shots, just continually chunking through his opponent, especially when you see XPK has got that Seeker's Arm Guard collected. So he's obviously going to be working towards that Zhonya's Hourglass to either dodge the ultimate ultimate or dodge the damage from the ultimate once he's been hit. And it's one of the biggest important things when facing off against a Fizz. You need to avoid some of the burst damage. And when we look at how Alex is leveling his Fizz, he has got 5 points into Playful Trickster, 4 points into the Sea Urchin Strike, which is the Q, and that's obviously for the most damage possible.
Alex, right now, he stood right on top of a wall. The stun card, actually, did it land on him there?
He to dodge
yeah,
it.
he did, oh, yeah. So, that is good from Alex, as Darian now going to be pushed onto here by Soaz, but Darian just turning around, saying, don't get too clever, you can't take me down yet.
Yeah, as an insect, he wasn't caught in the spider's web, so he was able to escape with those wings, and now that he is level 11, he can get the resets as well, which is very, very important. Once they get into these team fights, one good collection of leaps, hops, skips, and jumps can put you in the fight. We've seen Alex getting a pentakill with Kha'Zix earlier. No pressure, Soaz, but I don't think he can do it again.
I'm not sure about that. We'll have to see. You never know. This has been a crazy game so far. I don't want to rule any kind of situation out as we push along. There is Alex again hammering down on this outer turret, but the minions are gone and he hops away. I
don't think I've ever seen Xpeke that scared before. He was staying a full, wild cards distance away from the turret, away from Alex's range because of the burst he's so afraid of. And it's just one of those situations where luckily Twisted Fate can still CS and can still farm because of the range on those wild cards. But obviously not being able to stay up close means when they start sieging a tower, Alex is going to have his pick of whoever he wants to try and blow up because there's a number of squishy targets on his opponent's team.
And actually, just missing a bit of the CS there, but let's have a look at the overall game and where we stand in terms of gold totals, towers and kills. 29.1 to 26,500 gold, 1-1 in turrets, 11-9 in kills. Let's have a look down the individual gold. Where is the main difference? It's between the AD carries, really. I mean, 1,500, 1,600 at this point in favor of Genja.
So call it a BF sword difference, at least in terms of items or stats, but the way that Genja's built, he's actually prioritized that and put it into a Last Whisper. And it comes from obviously having the additional kills and a big amount of CS extra, but they've gone aggressive.
This is where things change, as we are going to see the flash over the wall from Darian. They know his position. They know that Fizz is coming down as well. They could see him thanks to Destiny's. Alex going to go through the wall, and he doesn't care that they could see him there. Chum the Water coming in, and Alex going to get knocked in the air. Can they get the finisher? Good stun card. There's a cocoon onto Soaz. Well, in comes Darian onto Peke. Can they double up here? Yes, they will. It's Darian that gets both.
2 for 1 in that exchange. Good gold card coming up from Xpeke, but unfortunately, that Chum the Waters just picked him up. In the mid lane, though, Cyanide has found Sona.
Not easy to get away from the bear, that's going to be for sure. Edward's going to try his best, and he's got that Oracle on, which makes him an even juicier target. Here comes Diamond from the side, going to get the Wither down. Edward trying his best to get away from this one. He's going to stay around for that extra bit of damage, and after all that, it's Cyanide that's forced to flash away.
Very, very well played there from Edward. He was forced to use the Crescendo and his Ignite just to fend off Cyanide. He was a hungry bear, but he wasn't able to pick up the kill. So defensive play forced them away. They did pop, get the flash out of Cyanide, but it was in exchange for the Ghost from Diamond Proc. So Diamond will come out a little bit better in that, as he will have his Summoner spell up and available before his opponent in the jungle.
So looking down the CS, that top lane, still an advantage for Elise, but not a massive one, with Kha'Zix having those 3 kills, but the 4 deaths to his name, 6.6 to 6.6 thousand gold. It's actually in favor just about by like 50 gold here in favor of Kha'Zix. In the jungle, 5.6 to 6.2, so again, not massive amounts there. That's extra farm that we've seen with Nasus. Plus, let's not forget 2 dragons that we've seen picked up by Gambit at this point. Mid lane actually bang even on CS, 6.4 thousand to 7,000 gold. I mean, 0.68, not what Peke wanted right now, but 8 assists is the real vital stat that he's got there, because when he's moved around these lanes with Destiny, he's made it count.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. He's keeping himself relevant. And, you know, the numbers that you just pointed out, the difference in kills and those 2 dragons is basically what makes up that goal difference. So even with all this chaotic craziness, the 2 teams are still staying relatively even in overall gold for their teams. Because of the fact that the 80 carries that are behind in CS have obviously got some kills, keeps them relevant. Soaz gets withered, and he eats a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, he's going to get knocked up here, but actually Gambit decides not to follow on from that one. Just want to get Kha'Zix away from that middle lane. If anyone knows how dangerous he can be, it's going to be Alex Hitch. Here we go. Yellow Star putting down damage onto Edward, but Genja is there as well, and they don't want to get involved with that one. Even though they now both have Last Whisper and both have Bloodthirster, Cyanide runs in towards Alex Itchen. That bear is still very scary, but look at this again. Gambit, two-man dragon going on.
Fnatic have had zero vision the entirety of all of these Drakes. They haven't even tried to contest. Cyanide's a little bit overextended, but there's no chum in the water, so he may not get locked up. Let's see what happens.
Well, there is a cocoon going in there, but can they do the damage here that they need to do? Alex going to dive through on towards Soaz, decides, well, Cyanide's actually the better target for this one. It's going to be Alex that picks that one up. Where's the next cocoon going to come from? There it is, jumped away from, but they turn around on towards Xpeke. He's going to gold card. He'll Zonya's as well, but that will only keep him alive for the duration. And Gambit take another couple of kills for none, taking down Cyanide and Xpeke, and they're going to be taking a middle outer turret, and it's a 30-second spawn time here for Peke. They may even get more from it.
They're going to continue pushing on the mid lane. There's no defense there. The fact that Genja was keeping the top lane busy means they're going to trade this inner turret. Soaz is doing the best he can to clear the waves, but he's not going to offer much resistance, and the rest of Gambit are going to keep the pressure on. They're stacked up in the mid lane, and the amount of aggression that can come out from Fizz and from Elise diving forward is really what helped them get those previous kills. Soaz and Cyanide, can they defend?
Well, turret already down to half HP. Void Spike's not landing onto anyone from Gambit, as Yellow Star going to go aggressive here on Genja. Half of his health actually gone. But in the end, he will not push through there for the kill. And interesting stuff here as Alex actually going to catch Cyanide out. He'd walk straight in towards him. He's going to be finished off there by the ignite of Alex Itch.
Face-checking the bush and eating a lobster. That is exactly what signed his death warrant. Right now, you cannot afford to do that with the pressure that Gambit's applying on the map. Fnatic need to get some more vision in their side of the jungle and not give away free kills. That 3,000 gold lead that we had 4 minutes ago has now extended to a 6,000 gold lead, and it's starting to get very, very scary, especially because that Fizz is a full item ahead. Lichbane and Zonya's Hourglass, as opposed to the Sorcerer's Shoes and Zonya's.
Yeah, Xpeke dying 7 times in this one. We pointed out that actually he's got a lot of kills compared to everyone else, but his KD not necessarily so amazing because he died a lot. And, well, he's died 7 times already here, which is a lot, but he's got 8 assists. He's been involved in 8 of those 10 kills so far that Fnatic have managed to put onto the map as Diamond almost getting rid of the ward.
I think he interrupted it. I think he actually right-clicked and moved to cancel the last auto attack. Nevertheless, Edward's got the Oracle's Elixir, so that pink eye is going to allow him to see the ward and get rid of it, and obviously carry on putting some more pressure towards this top lane. You can see that Misfortune immediately started backing off once they seen that Edward and Nasus were there. May be able to catch Edward here if Cyanide goes in, but here comes Twisted Fate.
Oh, but there was the flash from Edward. He didn't want to have any part of that one. This flash is completely away from things. And Peke will say, well, it's all right, guys. I just wanted to get vision of him anyway.
Now, I want to take a look at some of the items because we've looked at a few of them, and it seems as though Darren is doing something a little bit differently with this Elise. So he got that Sightstone very early, and he obviously then picked up the Ruby Crystal, turned that into an Aegis of the Legion, and then followed that on with Liandry. So he's part support, part AP. Now 4 members of Gambit, they've started off from Baron. Misfortune's going to get there very, very quickly, but Baron's going down quickly. It's 3,000 HP.
This could be very dangerous, and he's going to go down there. Picked up with a crescendo now from Edward coming in. The Wither is unenrated. He will try and flash away, but surely not got enough to escape. Genja actually picks it up in the end with that True Shot Barrage. Darian is walking down that middle lane as well. They may try and push home and get an inhibitor from this one. Peke, obviously, with those wildcards, will try and get rid of the minion waves, but they're tanky enough here, especially since Darian did go in, as you said, for Doran's shield, for that Sightstone, plus the Aegis in there as well, so they could have just tanked straight through as Genja goes aggressive onto who was it? I totally missed on. So sorry. And also I didn't notice the Guardian Angel picked up by Genja.
GA was picked up a couple of minutes ago by Genja. He picked it up after his last Whisper was saving up, and it's pretty much that Season 2 build that we've seen out of time and time again. And he's actually been doing this for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They managed to get that mid lane inhibitor.
Is that Season 3? What's that?
Now the rest of Gambit have stacked up in the top lane. They're going to have super minions in the mid. All the rest of their minions are now 100 HP healthier, and they're going to carry on applying the pressure onto this top lane. Edward is not with them though, so please keep that in mind that the crescendo is not going to be there, and even if it was, it's on cooldown, so it couldn't be used.
By the time he gets there,
there we go.
Crescendo might be available for them. They should have a good amount of gold here to back with and spend after taking that Baron, plus pushing in for a good few turrets. and I can tell you that there's 1,900 gold on Elise, 1,600 on NASA, 1,700 on Fizz, and 2,500 on Ezreal. So talk about plenty to spend when they get back.
Yeah, very, very wealthy right now. They're going to buy all the cookies and candy bars that they can afford when they get back to base, but it's not time for shopping because they want to keep applying pressure. They've got the regen that Baron offers them, and they're just sticking here to the sides. Look at Alex's position. He's hiding off to the side, waiting to see if he can get good timing on that Chum the Waters. If anyone oversteps their bounds. Now they've decided to move in and roll through the middle. Pink Water's down just to clear any vision that Fnatic may have and just deny any possible counters, and it looks like they're going in.
They are going to go in. There goes bullet time. Crescendo is available. Are we going to see Edward putting it down? Yes, we will. Genja now dominating as Peke tries to flash away. Use the Zhonya's. He's going to die straight afterwards, and they're focusing down Yellow Star. They may get him before he can get to the fountain. Yes, it's Edward that gets that one. There's the fountain actually doing some damage, but you hardly even notice where that one came in, and Gambit now 5 versus 2, may be able to win the game right here, right now. First turret goes down, second one will surely follow, and it's just Cyanide and Soaz to defend. Soaz is just going to go in there, throw down the Void Spikes, but Gambit are going to win their 4th and final game here of the season against Fnatic. Very chaotic match, very entertaining, and a good performance from the Russians to win the game in the end.
The power of Earth is what turned the tide of that battle. Fizz in the mid was able to shut down Twisted Fate time and time and time again, and it was thanks to the damage he was offering and the way the rest of the team played. You have to give props to Genja. He had a great performance. He was out-farming and outplaying his opponents. Well played to Gambit. 3-1, and we won't see this matchup again for this split.
We won't, but there's always next time. Right now we have Gambit closing that gap on Fnatic. To break down the game is, of course, our usuals here for this week. Freak and Jason, take it away.
Hey, thanks very much, Joe. Jason, that was a spectacular game. I mean, we saw